Hey guys, let's talk about the voices that you guys are hearing, right? Or even vision that maybe you see when it comes to spirit. And I want to help you guys discern if are you listening to a higher level spirit, the voice or suggestions of a higher level spirit, or are you listening to the voice and suggestions of a lower level spirit? How to discern between those two, or could it possibly be trauma, the voice of trauma? We've been talking about that on the channel here. Brandaline Johnson is my channel. And that's my name, Brandaline Johnson. If you guys want to follow me on Instagram, you can at I am Brandaline. I talk a lot on my stories there. But yeah, I wanted to do this story because one of my clients in one of my development programs was talking about the voice of spirit and that the suggestions that they were making. And I was like, whoa, 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 because spirit doesn't say certain words. And the word she was using is should. She was saying that her guides were telling her that she should do this or she should do that. And spirit doesn't use those types of words. Okay. When we're talking about higher level energies like your angels, your spirit guides, and past loved ones that have that you've processed through the trauma, and past loved ones that have healed like that type of ego thing. Because a lot of times when our loved ones pass away, they kind of transition, into spirit, and then they stop using like this judgment and stuff. I want to back up a tiny bit here because you may still hear their voice the way they used to speak to you. And if they didn't speak to you in a nice way, you will still role play that type of energy, that type of being, because you have like connected chords with the judgment that maybe they used to make with you. But I want to share a little bit of a story with you guys so that it gives you a little bit of an idea, because I love to share examples versus just giving you information. I want you guys to embrace this and like encompass this so that when you work with spirit, right? Or if you go to get a reading, you guys, like even if you guys are going to get a reading and you're listening to a psychic, and if she or he starts to tell you things like you should do this, or spirit says if you don't do this there will be consequences. Spirit doesn't say stuff like that. Spirit is always love, it's always light, they're always supporting you exactly from where you're at. You could be in the darkest trenches of your life. You could be being an addict, you could be a murderer. I know it sounds terrible. You could be the abuser in a relationship. Spirit is not going to tell you something bad. They're going to love you for where you're at in your human experience, and they are going to give you guidance so that you can transition up. That's what we're doing here, guys, folks. When we're working with and for spirit, is we're helping our clients. Um, if you're like the giver of messages from spirit, we're helping our clients shift their frequency so that they can have a better human experience, and that's always been my intention, right? But so if spirit's telling you should, or if you don't do these things, there's going to be consequences, then you need to start asking yourself, who are you really listening to? Is it trauma, right? Are you judging yourself and thinking to yourself that this voice is telling you these things, and then you're like self-sabotaging yourself? Is it, that past loved one that you still have this relationship with that used to talk shit to you, and so you're just allowing that to play through? Or are you maybe perhaps listening to a lower level spirit, a lower level energy, like a lower level spirit that didn't really cross over properly, or lower level energy? There's so many energies, beings out there. Um, and is it trying to influence you in a negative fashion? So, one of the stories I want to share with you guys is that I had a client a long, long years and years ago. Work with me and go through my program, and then she started telling me that that Jesus had come to her and that Jesus was her spirit guide. And this happens a lot. Jesus is a lot of people's spirit guide. But she was telling me that Jesus wanted to specifically marry her and only her, and that she was the one and only special being that he wanted to be with. And so immediately that's a red flag for me, because there's no such thing as time or space, and energy is not going to tell you you are the one and only thing, and that they want to marry you, right? Especially they're past, they're in the spiritual realm. They're in the spiritual realm. So if they're not going to be asking you to marry you. But some people get, influenced, and some people that are like really looking for love could be influenced by that and could believe that that's truly a voice, and could sort of, fall for it, right? Like some of us people that are out there dating in our dating life right now, and we have somebody that starts treating us really nice, and we get goofy emotionally, and like we just ignore all the red flags. Well, this is what happened to one of my clients. Is she's like, nope, he wants to be with me. Jesus wants to be with me. And then it escalated from there, and she was saying the only way that I could truly be with Jesus, and that's what Jesus told me, and is that I need to like terminate my life force so that I could be with him in spirit. And this is when, as a spiritual mentor, we're like, major red flags. We're going to get you some help. We're going to speak to your family members. We're going to speak to your church if that's what needed to be, to make sure that we ex-nay this voice that's telling you these things, but also to help her wake up to the fact that do not listen to a voice or a spirit, or pay attention to visions, however it is that you're receiving, if it's something derogatory like that, or if it's something that is stroking your ego, right? Like telling you you're the most beautiful person in the world. As soon as they like try to put you up on this pedestal that's separate from the rest of us, that's when like I would be like, whoa, we need to pay attention to these red flags. The real voice of spirit is going to be encouraging. They're going to tell you you are very special, but so are the rest of us. They're going to tell you you're exactly where you need to be right now. They're going to share with you some ideas, regardless if it's you receiving the information from spirit because you've developed, or if it's somebody that is giving you that information that's already been developed. It's always, always encouraging. It's always super sweet. When I would have my clients and do readings, or when I do my intensive sessions with you guys, spirit comes through very solidly. They will give you ideas, but then of course it's always up to you. And this is why I love coaching, to take on that information from your higher level spirit guides, your angels, and your past loved ones, and then implement that into your human experience. So I wanted to make this video to help you guys know that, spirit's not going to be having ego. They're not going to be talking shit to you. Absolutely. Absolutely not. They're not going to have ego. And they're always going to be encouraging you. And then you just need to ask yourself these questions. Have I been around something that's really dark? Am I attracting that? Is my life like that? There's a couple of videos behind this one on the live section in on my YouTube, Brandalene Johnson. So if you're catching this from somewhere out there, come to my channel and look at the couple videos before where I'm talking about the voices of trauma, and then of course making sure you're not listening to like the voice of what your past loved one used to talk like, because now they're on the other side and they will encourage you, and they have been proud of you, right? And they are proud of at the moment where you're at. So I'm sending you guys all love. I hope you enjoyed this little tidbit. If you want to learn more about working with them for spirit, developing your abilities, then you're going to want to check out the link that's in the comments here at brandalene.com/awaken. So talk to you guys soon.